tuned. The show is about to begin.
Welcome to I'm Right. And this is one of the hosts, Anthony Cordova, and Jill is sitting right next to me, but the show is not ready to start yet. We've got about 2 minutes to the beginning of the show. So if you're listening to this in replay, you can fast forward past this portion and get right into the show. And if you're here live the next time, make sure that you know that you can hit any of the 3 emojis across the bottom at any time you wish. And we'll hear it, and the rest of the audience will hear it and see it on the screen. And it'll be cool because we like hearing the claps and the laughs and all of that. So that's pretty cool. So that's one thing you can do while you're here. You can also request to come up to the stage. The easiest way is to hit the ask button if it is still there, because Fireside keeps changing things. But you could hit that ask button and type a comment, choose an emoji, type a comment, and press send, and we will see it and either get you to the stage or read your comment. So that's one thing you can do. You can also hit any of the 4 emojis in the lower right-hand corner, and then you can choose an emoji and type a comment and press send. We'll get the message there also. Then also, if you wanted to come to the stage, you could hit the little icon that looks like a mic on a stage with a spotlight, and also request to be on the stage to speak. And that's what you do. So the show will be starting in just a moment, so please stand by. Hello. Welcome.
Greetings, everyone. You did it again.
Yes, I did.
This is I'm Right.
And
I'm Jill Cox Cordova.
And I'm Anthony Cordova. And you know why I did it again, Jill? You know why?
You just jump right in?
No, there's a specific reason this time why I jumped right in.
Okay.
Because when I turned on the camera, it didn't seem like you were ready. So,
and then I looked up.
Yeah,
I was like, the red light's on.
It was like you were writing a book or something. So
I wasn't even writing.
Okay, but that's why I jumped in first.
Well, thank you. You always have my back. So.
Yeah, that's all I was trying to do. That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. Well, let's welcome our audience. We have Dave and Sam. Hey,
Dave and Sam
hey.
of the Married Couple podcast on YouTube.
Yes, they're doing a phenomenal job.
Big hit over there. Big hit.
Yep. And we have Mark.
Hello, Mark.
And we have Stefan.
And Stefan.
Hey,
What's up, Stefan? Hope you're handling the hurricane well.
Well, you know he is. He said he was chilling when we checked in with him earlier. So
Oh,
I'm
well,
just sitting and chilling.
making sure everything is still going well. That's all.
Well, yes, weather can change in a moment,
Yeah.
can't it?
Yes, it can.
Yes, it can.
Yeah.
Well, you ready to get into tonight's topic?
Sure, we can do that. No problem.
No problem. Do you know what tonight's topic is?
Yes, it's about sharing an office.
Yes, yes. So first of all, Mark says, I hope y'all are having a blessed night. Thank you, Mark. I hope you are too.
Thank you, Mark. We do appreciate that and hope you're having a blessed night also.
Yes.
And, being here, you are definitely going to have a blessed night.
Such strong promises.
Anyone that comes to our show is blessed.
Oh boy. Note that Tony said that, not me. I don't make such promises.
Oh no, they're blessed because you know what? The reason they're blessed and we're blessed is because all of this is good energy. It's all good.
We do try to
positive
to spread our good energy
and love. So
yeah.
Yeah. That's it. So yeah, you're blessed to be here. And thank you, Mark, for being here.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so what's up, Jill? What's up?
Well, I thought it would be fun. Tonight it's my idea for the topic. Normally, Tony has been coming up with all of our topics. And I'm just like, yep, okay, let's do it. But this one I came up with because I find it very funny that the entire time, did you realize this? The entire time we've been married, we have a home office with both of our desks in it. So for 17 years, we've had a home office where both of our desks are. But it was only this year that we were both in there working at the same time. Did you realize that? Like working, like as a regular schedule. Did you realize that? It's true.
No,
it's true.
I didn't realize that.
Oh, well, it's true.
So working in the office at the same time,
simultaneously. Like a full work day where we're both in there. Because it's not the first time I've worked from home. I've worked from home for, gosh, I stopped counting how many years. But when I was teaching, sometimes I would have to go in to do that. Yeah, right?
That's true.
And then when I stopped teaching, I've had businesses where I edit manuscripts for people. So obviously I was able to do that from anywhere. But this is the first time I've had a full-time job where we're all remote. So I'm at my desk.
Everybody at your job is remote.
We're all remote and we're all over the country. And it's the first time I've sat at my desk in my home office for 8 hours or more every day.
Yeah.
So, but this year, when you quit your job, you started coming into the office too. So I want to talk about that because I think it's really funny that here we are doing this show together and we've been doing I'm Right for about 5 years, but only 1 year on Fireside. So, and that was funny in itself because you said you would never work with me.
That is true.
Those words?
That is true.
I will never work with you.
We can't work together now.
Nope. And yet, 5 years later, and we keep doing more because when it was audio, we faced each other, and now we're sitting like this. So we've gone from you saying I will never work with you.
Speaking of which, I'm sorry.
This.
I'm sorry. I have to stop. This is like breaking news, and I heard it earlier.
Breaking news.
I did not know. On Love Insights today at 6:00 Eastern time.
Yes, with Arlene and Brandon.
Yes, on Love Insights,
professional matchmakers.
Arlene said that, and I did not know this, but now that I think about it, it does make sense.
What's that?
Well, she said that men and women communicate differently. Now, I understand that. Okay?
Men are from Mars,
but
women
yes,
are from
but
Venus.
where she went with this, after that, and this pertains to us. This is why I'm bringing it up. She said that women like to talk face to face, face to face. It's like this, looking at the next person in the eye, face to face. Where men tend to like to speak side by side, like Jill and I are talking now, side by side. And I thought about that because I was like, I never gave that any thought. And it made me think about, the way we used to do our podcast, which was face to face, right?
Mm-hmm. Do you know why?
Well, because we used my desk.
That's not the only reason why. I could have sat next to you then too.
And during now that was the podcast, so we weren't on camera, but we could give each other cues very easily without anyone seeing, and we could see our cues to each other.
That's not the reason.
And our expressions, but we did give each other cues.
Yes. Yes.
So why were we, if it wasn't because we were both at my desk, I set up the microphones to face to face. So what's the other reason?
Well, I agree with what Arlene said because I like to communicate with anyone. It doesn't have to be a man, but I like to communicate with anyone where I can see you and see that you're listening. That's what I'm looking for. Are you listening? Did you hear that applause?
Of course I'm listening. I always listen to you. Of course I am. I saw that, Jill. I saw that. So, but
you've gotten better.
But I gave that some thought. And I was like, is that accurate?
It is accurate. For me, anyway.
I think when I start thinking about it, I thought about when I'm talking to another male. And it's kind of side by side. We tend not to look at each other in the eye.
Because you're automatically listening to each other. Whereas some men, I would not say all men, obviously, but some men, they don't listen to you unless you get their attention.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking the dynamic of interaction between two men or two women. So, and that is absolutely accurate.
It is.
Because men, when they talk to each other, they're never like looking each other in the eye. And if one guy looks the other guy in the eye, the one guy will turn his head like this. And then if it goes the other way. Because you all don't
have to. You don't have to check to make sure someone's listening to you.
It's not
You're
about
listening to each other.
No,
but Dave has a really good point. I think
it's about intimacy. That's what I think.
No, I disagree.
No.
But Dave has a really good point. He says, I feel your pain, Tony. He's always Team Tony. So, Sam says, I don't listen either. But let's be real. I don't.
That's a really good one. Yeah. So our podcast, getting back to it, when we did our podcast, we faced each other face to face. But you knew I listened to you. You didn't have to look to see whether I was listening.
Tony, in our day-to-day, when I'm working and you're at your desk too.
But now we don't face each other.
We don't. But how many times a day do you hear me say, are you listening? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? And then when I see that you're looking at me, that's when I say something.
And why is that?
I want to make sure you hear me.
No. Why?
No. I do that.
Listen.
Well, you often have on headsets.
I have on headphones all day when I'm at the office. I keep full cover headphones so I don't disturb Jill with my music.
But I would probably say the same thing even if you weren't
No, no,
wearing
no, no,
headset.
no,
No,
no.
I know
If
myself.
I hear you, I will acknowledge you, but I can't hear you when I have the headphones on. So that's why.
Well, Mark has a good point as well. He says, my psychology class in high school, Sidman, Sidman, don't face Sideman, don't Sidman don't faces Jerry when they talk because it's they don't face Jerry when they talk because it's like diamonds in the men's more dominant. If he's not looking for another man in the face, if he's got to look at them in the face, he's got to be done. I'm hoping.
Mark, I don't need. You know what?
Well,
I don't think we need
Mark.
clarification.
No, and it's fine, Mark. I realized that it was dictation, so I do get it. It's that if men look at each other in the face, then they need to be done with what they're saying, right? Is that true for you? In high school, it was for him.
Yeah. Well, one.
Oh, he wants to come up, so I will bring you up, Mark, and you can tell us what you're saying. So anyway, you can answer.
Yeah. So yeah, back to that. Yeah, men. And now listen, I got to go back to intimacy. So it's more personal. Let's use that. It's more personal.
Yeah, like intimate's not a good word.
And guys
there.
don't do that well.
But Mark is on the stage. Hi, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Welcome.
Hey guys, I'm legally blind and it's hard to type. You know how that goes. But
I understand.
I remember because it's been 25 years. My graduation class is getting together, not going. But the thing our psychologist teacher told us that men do not look at men when they're having a conversation. It's just because one wants to be dominant than the other. But for when you look at your woman in the face, girlfriend, wife, whatever, that's your love. You have to look her in the face. You got to look your child in the face when you're talking to them. But some men have a hard time talking to each other face to face.
Yeah.
I had to learn how to talk face to face to a man in the face because I worked for 20 years for McDonald's and I worked 15 years for corporate. I had to look at my bosses in the face to talk to them. And it was nerve-wracking because if they told me, oh, you're wrong, but 5 minutes later they go, oh, you're right. it made my eyes go from a shade of blue to a shade of gray, and they're like, hey, your eyes are turning gray. I said, because you just made me mad. And I learned not to do that because it's a dominant thing. I mean, it's like looking at a lion in the face. Do you want to really look at a lion in the face? No, you don't want to get your face ripped off. So
That makes sense.
I have a constantly where I don't look people in the face, and now being legally blind, I can work sunglasses and I can just roll my eyes if someone's making me mad. Get away with it. But that's what our psychologist teacher told us because he was a psychologist for 37 years and he did a study on it for 7 years. And that's that's the way he came up with it. So you take it as it worked, 25 years ago, he might have been a pothead. Who knows?
Yeah. So, hey, I have a question for you, Mark.
Yes,
so, what if one man looks another man in the eye, and let's say they're just friends? They're just friends, okay?
Friends do that.
And wait, listen, there's more. Okay. And the one friend says to the other, I love you. How do men handle friends.
I'm a man of God. I tell people I love them no matter what. I love you guys because you're children of God.
Yes, but how do men typically handle that?
When my best friend told me he loved me the first time before he died, I looked at him and gave him a hug. I said, I love you too, man. And, because your friends can be your family. You don't have how do you say it? You don't have a way to choose your family, but your friends can be your family. You can say, I love you. I got a best friend who's a female, and I always told her, I love you.
Right.
And her husband goes, why is he saying he loves you? She goes, because he does love me, and I love him. He's my brother from another mama. I mean,
right.
I like Dave. I love Dave to death. Dave gives me a hard time because I go by Thunder Buddy. And me and him are tight. And if I ever get a chance to meet him, damn right I'm going to get a hug and say, hey, I love you, brother. And I love Sam to death, too. Because it's not that hard to say I love you. but those who say it and don't mean it, those people make me the
Yes.
most angry.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
have
that's
many
different.
women tell me, "Oh, I love you," but then beat the living tar out of me because I don't give them something. My wife now of
Ooh,
9 years, I
that's
never laid a
not
hand on a
good.
woman. I love my wife to death. I will step in a bullet for my wife.
Hmm.
I would do that for any female, any male. If God says, "Hey, you gotta take this bullet for this person," I'm gonna turn around and tell this person, "I love you. God loves you. Please pray for my family as I'm dying." Because I
Okay.
Oh,
have that much love. I have
Excellent.
5 sisters and one twin brother,
oh
and I
wow.
need more family in my life because none of them talk to me but my brother.
Mm. Yeah,
And
that's too bad.
I claim men as my brothers. You're my brother. You're my sister. We're all one big family. We just got to show the love and share the love because this world, to me, is going too fast and going to hell too fast.
Amen.
So, okay,
Amen.
that's my opinion, guys. If you guys ever want me to come up here again, please send me a invite. I'll definitely
Invite.
accept
All
it.
right. Well,
Yeah,
great. We will remember that.
And Dave says he loves you too.
love you too,
All
man. Thanks, guys.
All
Thank you,
right.
Mark. I appreciate
You're welcome.
that.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
And
All right.
bye. And we have Stefan on the stage too. Hi, Stefan.
Stefan.
Hi, Jill and Tony.
Hello,
Hello. It's so good to
Stefan.
hear your voice. I've missed
Thank
you.
you. I've missed you guys too. So I would like to comment on this as well. Oh, are you waiting for me? Okay, I thought you guys
Yes.
were going to say
Yes,
something.
we're waiting. Yes, okay. Waiting for the comment.
So I grew up where you have to look people in the eye. Is that me? Maybe I'm staying next to the
Are
AC
you
vent.
outside?
No, I'm inside. Outside
Oh.
is a hurricane.
Maybe that hurricane is coming in. But no, it wasn't us.
But when I was growing up, I was told that you have to look people in the eye to show them that you are listening to them. And I mean, for males or women, I'm not gonna say the other one
Who
because I
taught you
feel like
that?
my dad actually taught me that because for a while when I was growing up, I wouldn't look people in the eye, and or I would have like my back turned to them, or I would be like turned sideways, and he's like, "Are you listening?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, you have to look people in the eye, not, don't have a staring contest, but you have to look them in the face to show them you're actually paying
Yeah.
attention. Otherwise, people will be like, so, are you listening? And you're like, yeah, well, why are you turned away from me? Why are you turned to the side? Like, look at me in my
Right.
face. So that's how I've always
Right.
talked to people.
Well,
And
good.
that's good. And I have to say that, my journalism 101, if someone doesn't look you in the eye when they're talking to you, they might be lying. Chances are they might be lying.
We learned that in
So
the
it
academy
made
too,
me
or
right? It's like people
shifty
like,
or
eyes.
shifty, like
shifty
so it
eyes.
made me
know.
think that, I can't trust people who won't look me in the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But well, getting back to looking you in the eye and being face to face during the podcast, did you think I had a problem with being face to face with you?
Are you talking to me or
Yeah, I'm
Stefan?
talking to you, like during the podcast when we had the podcast and we were face to face.
No,
See, you weren't listening to me because you weren't looking at me. I was quite clear.
Well, I didn't know if you were. No,
I said,
you weren't.
Jill. I said,
No.
going back
Okay.
to.
You didn't say my name, but you did say going back.
I said, going back to Jill. Anyway.
You all know that Tony says a lot of things in his head that he thinks he says out loud, but
I
that's
did the
another
exact same
another
thing.
episode.
I'm not gonna lie, I said the exact same thing.
Anyway.
Did I think that?
Yeah. Did you think you had to force me to look you in the eye? You have told everybody you set up our podcast when we were doing podcasts so we would be face to face.
Yes.
You said you set it up that way, but actually I set it up that way. Oh, I just think I set
You
it up
just think
that
you
way.
did.
Yeah, okay.
You just think you did.
Yeah, all
Or
right.
you had the same idea but for different reasons. Let's go with that.
Okay, we can go with that. We can go
Okay,
with
here's a
that.
question for. Hey, Joe, I got a question for you.
Sure.
Okay, say he's not looking you in the face, but he's telling you something. Do you feel like you got to ask him to repeat that and look at you in the eyes,
That's a
or
great question.
do you just like say whatever?
That's a great
You know what I mean?
question.
Yeah, it's a
That's a
great
great question
question.
because sometimes when I'm not looking at him and he's just talking, I will miss a lot of what he's saying to the point where he'll stop talking. I'm like, wait, what did you say? Were you talking to me?
Because you
So-
weren't listening.
So I do expect I expect to do the same thing when like you have my attention if I'm looking at you as you're talking, and or at least I might look away to think about what you're saying or something like that, but I'm still paying attention if you ever saw me looking at you. So that's a great question. Often if he doesn't see me looking at him, I may not be listening.
Yeah, because I have too many. I played baseball all my life. I was catcher, and I took too many cushions to the head because people thought it was football season and tackled me down and tackled me in the head and everything.
Oh goodness.
Sometimes I can be talking, thinking I'm talking, but I'm not talking, and my wife would be like, "You're mouthing something. What are you saying?" And I had to repeat myself because sometimes I catch myself doing. And if I had to practice a speech for anybody to talk to them, I literally had to look at myself in the mirror or look at my front camera on my phone so I can practice this study to talk to somebody in the face. Because I have that wandering eye, that glass eye in my likes to go to the left sometimes. And that's not me doing it. It's because the nerves in my eyes thinking, hey, there's something to the left. You need to look at that. But I don't see it because that eye's blind. But I could tell somebody's lying to me, like our politicians when they're running for office. You can tell when they're lying because some of them do not look at the camera. Don't even look at the people. They're like, their eyes look like they're rolling back their head like they're the Undertaker. It's just like, come on. And what kills me the most is when people are talking to me in interviews for jobs with me being legally blind. They don't think I don't see them looking me in the eyes. And I'd be like, can you look me in the eye? I do have one good eye. It's just, to me, it's disrespectful if someone's not looking at you in the eyes. Because I imagine, like you, brother, I bet you think when someone's not looking in your eye, hey, that's disrespectful to me because I'm looking at you once you look at me. And then when some women go, well, are you looking at me or are you looking at the headlights? It's like, I'm looking at you. Why would I look at your headlights when my wife has the perfect headlights there is? It's like, come on. It's like, look at me when you talk. Because the first thing I was brought up, because my dad was a military man, look somebody in the eyes. Do not give them disrespect. You look that person in the eye, and if you get them disrespect, after they beat the tar out of you, I'm going to beat the tar out of you. And that's the way I was raised. You look somebody in the eyes. My son has autism. My son, who has high function autism, for the longest time, he couldn't look at somebody in the eyes. And he said, I had to practice that, Dad, because I know that was disrespectful. And my son's almost 18 years old, and he still looks at people in the face if they're yelling at him. He goes, it's hard to look them in the eyes, but I do it because it's called respect. So, okay, I'll shut up now.
No,
I'm just kind of excited because I just filed. Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say that those are all great points.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just kind of excited right now because I just cleaned my room and found $500 in cash.
What?
Oh, wait, that's mine. That's mine.
I just text my wife. I say, "Did you lose $500?" And she goes, "No, I need $500 for my co-payment for my surgery next Wednesday." That was a blessing from God. That's a blessing from God.
There you go.
So
all right,
I'm just kind of excited. Okay, I'll shut up now.
That is exciting.
That is exciting. I thought that was my $500 for real.
Wait. Maybe it is. Is your initials JJ?
That's it for now. All right. Well, cool. Thank you so much, Mark.
Yes, I appreciate your comments.
I was actually raised that way also. Look a man in the eye. It's what my father used to say.
Just a man? Not everybody?
Well, my father would have been like 110 years old now. So it was a different time. Look a man in the eye.
Did you take that to mean you don't have to with anybody else?
No, I took it, look a person in the eye.
Okay.
Talk to him, look him in the eye.
Okay.
But what he actually said was look a man in the eye.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wish I had met your father.
Actually, I tell you, he would have really liked you.
Because I'm on time.
That's right. Stickler for being on time.
I am.
Now back to the topic, which is working in the same office.
Yes.
Is that a problem for you, Jill?
It was in the beginning because you did things like you would bring crunchy food and just
That's how
while I'm trying to concentrate.
That's how crunchy food sounds.
But you chose to eat it there.
I gotta eat.
For some reason. You chose to eat it there.
Well, Jill, not for some reason. Okay, if you didn't realize this, Jill, or not, you also eat at your desk.
Yes.
Instead of getting away from your desk and eating elsewhere,
but
like
you have
people
choices.
Normally do.
True.
But you eat at your desk, and then the office smells like a lunchroom. You see. But I do
not with my food.
But I do not complain.
No.
Because that's how you work.
That is not with my food. I eat things like oatmeal.
Oatmeal in a lunchroom. Protein
doesn't
bars
really have,
in a lunchroom.
Those don't have real smells. No.
Yes,
that
they
is not
do.
True.
Salad has an odor.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Salads might, but I don't eat very many salads at my desk.
But anyway, I don't complain. It's not a bother
because I was there first. I had a whole routine set up.
You were. This is why I wear headphones. This is why I do those things. And I try to minimize my time in the office.
Yes, you do. Now you've gotten to the point where you're not there the whole 8 hours that I'm there.
Yeah, so probably the morning hours there till maybe 11, 12. And then I go do other stuff.
And you were the first person I knew of that could slurp coffee, hot coffee.
That's so you don't burn your lip.
I had never heard that before in my life.
Probably most people slurp hot stuff.
No. No. I put cream and sugar in my coffee, so yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Put ice cube in.
I do that.
What'd you say?
I said put an ice cube in. It won't be so hot.
That's right.
Come on.
So yeah, I do that. Yeah, I do that. I understand that can be annoying.
Yes, but we were able to, I brought it to your attention because at first you argued with me and you said, no, I don't do that. I don't do that. And I was like, okay, I'll point it out the next time you do it. And then you were like, okay, I do that.
My wife does, records everything. So you're like, see, I told you talk in your sleep.
Yeah. So is that the only issue you have with working in the office with me?
Well, now I don't have any issues. I had to get used to with anything, you have to get used to someone else being in your space, right? Mm-hmm. And so, sometimes even with your headset on, so I couldn't hear the music, but you're just like this, while I'm in a meeting. You're like,
happy when you
work. And so I was just like, okay.
Happy when you work?
Yeah. But it was distracting.
Look, I'm gonna
especially when I'm in a meeting.
Jill, I'm going to tell you something. So you are pointing out things that I do that can be somewhat distracting.
That you used to do. You don't do it now.
But he's
going to turn it back on me, right?
Yeah. So Jill, I've noticed with you're kind of like, don't disturb me, I'm working. Don't disturb me, I'm working.
And then when I'm not, then I'll answer you. Then I'll talk to you.
No, wait. Then all of a sudden, she'll say, Tony, let me tell you what just happened. Tony, did you hear that conference call? Let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what was said. And I could be in the middle of doing something.
Because clearly when you were trying to talk to me, you wanted to talk. So I was like, well, I can't right now. So I talk to you when I can.
You didn't talk to me about what I wanted to talk about. You talked to me about your work.
Well, you could have brought it up. Whatever you were going to tell me, you could have brought it up then, because clearly I have a chance to listen now.
So see, you too interrupt me while I am doing work at my desk. And it's not a problem because it's funny. It's not really that different than if we actually worked in an office. Because people do interact with each other. They talk.
Yes.
Oh, let me tell you what just happened. Blah, 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 blah. And so
yes, I once had well, he didn't report to me, but I once had a colleague who came up and complained to me about someone who did work for me. And his complaint was that he talks to me too much. He's at my desk all the time and he talks to me too much. Make him stop. And I'm like, well, is he at least talking to you about work? No. I don't care what music what concert he attended. I don't care, what movie he saw and, all of these things. So it took me a while to talk to that employee because he was such a happy person that he did talk to everybody, right? And I didn't want to dim that light of his. But at the same time, we were at a workplace.
Yeah.
And he's got to respect that some people need absolute quiet and they don't want you to talk to them while they're working. So he was so hurt though. He was so hurt.
Well, but I'm one of those people that once I'm in that zone of working that
it's hard to come out. Yeah. Like
and I'm not
lose that mojo.
Yeah, and I am not a multitasker.
Well, actually, in reality, very few people are.
Right. But, some people can listen to a person and still write stuff and all of this. But, when I did work in an office years ago, a couple of times years ago, I was my
phone is frozen. So if anybody's saying anything, I'm sorry, I can't.
Mine
if you're writing anything.
But what was that request
but at least
for the stage? Was there anybody new? Anyway, I was talking about when I worked in an office and not being able to listen and do my stuff all at the same time. So I was an architectural draftsman. So I'm writing down dimensions and doing a lot of math in my head and all of that. And I did this one drawing and then I have to submit it to my boss to be checked. And and we were in the same office. She looked at me and said, Tony, what the heck is this drawing you turned in? All the dimensions are wrong. All the wording is incorrect. What in the world happened? I said, I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Were you distracted by your colleagues?
And then I thought about it. And I said, I remember when I was doing that drawing. And is when she had come to my desk. And she had come to my desk and started asking me about some dimensions and how we can do something on this dimensions and asking me about some other project. And I'm writing down, I'm putting in numbers that she said, and I put down all of this stuff. So yeah, if somebody comes up to me when I'm talking or writing, if I'm writing poetry or something, and they get in my head, it just screws everything up for me. I start writing it down.
I do that sometimes.
I worked for McDonald's for corporate. I was never in the office. I traveled the world to improve on different McDonald's in other countries. And when I was in those other countries, I kid you not, like there's sound machines. I actually had to play sounds of people talking when I'm doing my work for the office in the hotel room because it gave me a sense of being in an office. Because if it was too quiet, my boss goes, "Why did you send me an email saying it's too quiet over 40 times in your email?" And so when I came to the office,
a good question.
Do paperwork at the office, I was only there once a month. I feel like I was going insane because there were so many people, and it's like I got to get away from here. And I told my boss, it's like I know I have to come to the office once a month. I was like, I don't think I could do it. And he goes, Mark, he goes, you need to learn how to be around people. When I was in China, I was around like 50 people at a time. And I was fine with it. But when I was in my own office in the United States, forget about it. It was just like, hey, how's that coffee? Hey, we're having cupcakes in the break room. And, hey, we're having this and this. And I'm like, stop. I'm trying to improve this blueprint guy. He's asking me questions. I'm like, and then one time I told my boss, I was like, I'm going to go take a break. I'll be back. And he came to the hotel where I'm at. And he goes, are you okay? It's like, no, he gives me a shot of whiskey. He goes, now get your butt and learn how to be a grown up and come back to the office. And I was like, okay. And I have mental retardation. And I was the very first person in McDonald's corporate ever without a college degree who knew more about business than people who had college degrees. And my downfall was I had quit. My dad died, and it's been 19 years. I'm going to be 44 next month. My dad died at 44.
Oh.
I am so scared to be around people at that time when it's my dad's passing. I can't be around nobody. But I still play office sounds every once in a while to help me sleep.
And my wife office sounds?
Yes.
Like what kind of office sounds?
Office ring, phones ringing, fax machine going off, people talking. And she goes,
wow.
Put your earbuds in. I don't want to hear that. That's keeping me awake. And then half the time I know my phone ringing so it could just go to voicemail so I can hear the voicemail. And I know that's dumb, but to me
that helps you sleep.
Well, not really, because like people that lived in the city, like the real city, buildings and cars and sirens and all of that time, all that noise all night long, they cannot sleep when
they're in the country.
Yeah, go to the country. It's too quiet here.
Yes.
Crickets. Yes. I don't want to hear crickets.
Yes. And as much as we've talked about, the things that I do in our home office and the things that you do, I still prefer to have you as my office mate than to go back into work into the office.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
I don't think I could ever take another job where I have to go into the office. I really don't think I could.
Yeah, and I understand sometimes I do annoy you, but I try to keep it to a minimum.
You do. Yeah. You do. It's been a long time since you've annoyed me from being in the office.
Hey, but look, it keeps me from playing the drums during the day.
I know. I get a break from that. But I do think that, in the role that I'm in, I edit for a magazine, and I think it would be really hard to be in an office with the rest of my colleagues because, when I'm editing, I need quiet, or music. I can have music going, but instrumental music. I can't have music with words going at the same time that I'm reading words. So,
Understandable.
Yeah. So I
So
don't
no
think I could
heavy
ever
metal
have
for you.
another job. Say again?
No
I
heavy
said no
metal.
heavy metal for you.
No, not while I'm editing.
Uh,
Yeah, that's why.
And
That's
not
why
even
I
I
keep
don't
my
even do Prince
headphones
when
on
Prince
when
is my favorite artist
yeah.
still, and I don't even listen to Prince when I'm writing. Well, when I when I'm editing. If I'm writing something that I can put Prince music in, then I'll listen to
You're
Prince.
okay. Okay. Well, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. So,
Now
what do
And
here's a
we know how
question
you
for you.
feel about jobs.
you? How do I feel about jobs, Jill?
Every job I've known you to have where you worked for somebody else, it's always even, before your first day. Okay, so how long do you think this one's going to last? Like you have an exit plan before you ever start.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm looking for my quit date when I go in. Yeah, yeah. I want to quit before I even start. Actually.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, yeah. I'm never. Oh, I want to stay here till I retire.
Well, I don't think I've said
No.
that about any job I've had.
Yeah.
In fact, I lately I've been seeing that some friends I used to work with have stayed where we used to work, and they've been there 25, 30, 35 years. And it's like,
Mhm.
wow, how in the world did you do that?
Yeah,
Because
that
I
is
lasted like
impressive.
3 years or 10 months.
That is
One time I
impressive.
worked at one job for 4 months. Actually, it's twice, two jobs. I worked for 4 months.
No, you worked at the last.
Oh, that was the record. That was like what, 6 weeks?
No, Jill. When you were a journalist, you worked there a long time.
No, not at the same building.
Yes.
I mean, not in the.
You worked there for a couple of years.
Well, the last place I worked 7 years, but I kept moving
Yes, there we
around.
go.
I kept moving
Within.
but different
Yeah.
departments, different people. So
Yeah.
that was like having a new job.
I see.
Now here's a question: if you guys worked at the same business, could you be in the same office together, or would you need to be separated?
Yeah, I could work in the same office.
Now he could. Before he would have said absolutely not. Now you can.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
The
I've
thing-
grown.
Well, the thing that we've both realized about each other is what I recognize his strengths, he recognizes mine, and they complement each other. So we've learned what the other one's strong suits are and let them stay in that lane and let them, we defer to them when it's, if we need to make a decision. So that's allowed us to work well together.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. So, yeah.
It looks like
That's very
better
true.
Take her side or get beat up.
That is true.
Huh.
Yeah. So,
Now here's the next question for you: what if she was your boss and put you on a timeline? Could you
It would
handle
never
it, or be
it
like,
would never work for one of us to be the other one's boss. We would have to be equal.
okay,
think you could be my boss.
No. No, I could not.
I posed that question to my wife one night, and we always joke around and everything. I said, if we worked in an office saying, hey, could you handle being my boss? And she goes, no, because when you get working, you work till you're done. I worked one time on something for 24 hours straight, didn't even realize it.
Mhm.
And my wife's like, you worked on it till you were done. I was like, well, that's my telling you, it was for 15 years being for corporate for McDonald's. I had to work on something till I was finished. And then I went over my work and made sure it was finished. And she goes, do you realize 24 hours went by? I was like, no, it felt like 10 minutes to me.
Mm.
So I lose track of mine. And my wife goes, yeah, I can never be your boss because I would be like, take a break. And then you would not listen to it. So, yeah. So that's why I asked that question.
Well, one time Tony saw me with people that I was their boss, and that's when he said, "I will never work for you."
Well, actually, I volunteered. I volunteered to be on her crew.
Yes, and they were going to pay him, but no, he wouldn't take any money. But anyway, that's beside the point.
And for the most part, everything went well until she
Tony, you
forgot
used to be
I
on
was her husband.
Tony, did you used to do another app called Stereo?
No, I did not do stereo.
I thought I talked to you on it before. Okay,
No.
be honest with you. You sound just like the guy.
Oh, or he sounds just like me.
It
Or
might be
maybe
your
he's
twin.
my
You know?
doppelganger.
There,
You have
there
a
you
few
go.
of those
There
out there.
The sad thing is, I do have a twin, and it sucks like heck.
Are you identical?
Yes, we're 2 minutes apart. We were joined to the pinky.
Oh, to the pink.
Yeah, they
So,
had.
do
Go ahead.
both of you have your pinkies though?
Yeah. They just
Okay.
extra skin that was like,
Okay.
does it flab? But the sad thing is, he went through all this blindness 3 years before me. We had everything the same down the middle, but he is a former alcoholic and drug user. I drink once a
Oh.
great while, and I never touch drugs. When they give me painkillers from my surgeries, I flush them down the toilet because I don't want them.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather deal with the pain. But I used to be my brother's boss, and he hated it because I'm like, hey, you're on a deadline. You need to get this done. And if he didn't do it, I would step in and do it for him so he wouldn't get in trouble with me because I'm going to be the one who had to write him up for firing.
So he wouldn't get in trouble with you.
Yeah. And then if I made a mistake, I'll come to him and say, hey, you made this mistake. He goes, but you're the one who finished it.
Wow.
That's funny.
I think your brother had the best part of that deal, though.
Yeah, well, he did because, his focus was, I need to get drunk, I need to get high. And they had really good insurance. And my boss came to him and said, we'll put you in rehab if you agree to do this and you can keep your job.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what
Yeah.
I'm thankful for. And he's a father of two. And my brother changed his life around. As soon as he heard he was going to be a dad, he's like, I'll do this. I'll do this. And he is the perfect example of somebody says, hey, I need treatment. Go with my brother. He'll say, hey, it's worth it.
Right.
Oh, that's
you guys are
wonderful.
awesome. I wish I was coming to you guys much sooner. It's just sometimes I lose track of mine. And you know something? If I'm available on Wednesdays, I will definitely be here.
Well, thank you. We
love
I
appreciate
love you
that,
guys'
you.
show
Mark.
so far.
We do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we'd love to have you.
Absolutely.
Part of the family.
That's right.
We're all family now.
That's right.
I'll bring the cupcakes, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll eat a cupcake. I will eat a cupcake. Just one, though.
Yeah.
But I will eat one. I love cake.
I was going to say, now we're going to start talking about cake.
Yeah.
He loves cake.
Well, but I'm a diabetic now, so I'm not supposed to eat cake.
Dude.
No.
Yeah. And I've eaten, sometimes I would bake a sugar-free cake, something like that. But even those, I might sit down and eat half the cake. So,
are you on Ozempic?
No, I'm still on metformin.
Okay, I'm on metformin and Jarnett's, and I take Ozempic once a week. I used to be 403 pounds. I weighed myself today, 215 pounds.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing.
We need you on Jill's show.
Yeah, on my show.
Wait
at 6:30 on Wednesdays. Wait with me. Tell him how you did it. Keep me accountable.
Well, the thing is I did 110 pounds on my own.
That's fantastic.
The Ozempic helped with the rest. My goal is to be at 200 pounds even, because they're like, oh, for your age, you should be 156 pounds. Dude, the last time I weighed 156 pounds, that was a freshman in high school.
Right.
There's no way I'm going to be that skinny again.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's wonderful.
Let me give you guys hot topic.
No, that's okay. That's wonderful.
That's cool. All working
the
in
day
the
I
office.
found I was a the day I found I was diabetic was the day my dad died. I was in the hospital for almost 2 years so they can bring my sugar down.
Yeah.
I'm proud to say from my blood sugars being so high they couldn't read it, I am now between 120 and 54.
Excellent.
I am so proud of myself. It took 19 years to finally get controlled, and I have no organ damage. They cannot explain it. I can't explain it. fit. Oh,
Wow.
thank God for technology.
Right?
Excellent. Oh, that's great. That's great.
That's all good news.
Yeah. Ooh, wow. So, Jill, do you have anything else to add about working in the office together?
Well, I would just like to say, well, because we do the show from this room, but all the other shows that we have are done in our home office. And I want to say that ever since we redesigned and rezoned it for different things, I really love the office. I used to not, going to the office even at home, it was like going to work, and I would sometimes dread it. But now I like the way we've redesigned the room. And, I have a section where I'm creative. I have a section where I'm doing my day job. You have your two sets in there. But otherwise, it's a guest room too, whenever we have a guest. So I really like the vibe in the room.
Yeah, it does. It's a completely different vibe. Where before, it still served the same purpose and then some. It was the office.
It was the
workout room. It was the file room. It was all of these other things that didn't make it
that
feel...
weren't fun.
Yeah,
none of it was fun.
It wasn't a relaxing feel. But now it's a relaxing feel in there.
Yes. In fact, many mornings before my workday begins, I'll just go in there, and sometimes I meditate in there. Sometimes I just sit.
Yeah. So that's cool.
I like the vibe.
So yeah, instead of having an office feel like an office, it feels like a relaxation spot.
Yes.
Which is good.
Yes.
Like that. All right. Well, we got anything else? Or we want to wrap this show up?
We can wrap.
All right. Well, let's do that.
Okay.
Do we have any announcements? Any news?
Well, I'll go ahead and maybe I'm jumping the gun, but might as well get it out there. So, starting probably in October, late October, or maybe November, we are going to...
I'm going to get a surprise here. I know.
No, you're not. We've talked about this. If you or someone you know is single or in a relationship where they're dating, they're not married, we would like to talk to people. So if it's just one single person, talk to them about what it is they're looking for, but also tap into who they are and probably the kind of person that would make a good mate for them. Or if it's a couple, we could even tell them if they need to be together.
It can definitely tell you whether the relationship you're in is going to work or not.
That's right.
Or maybe it's not even worth trying to save.
Right.
Or maybe it is, who knows?
Right.
Who knows? But people are different. But everybody shouldn't be together.
Isn't that the truth? So starting in mid to late October, we're going to start having a guest probably once a month, maybe once every 6 weeks, where we help them.
Yeah.
We're going to turn this back into an advice show. Sometimes.
Well, you know what? I don't think it's ever really left from an advice show. We're just not clear that we're giving messages.
Oh, we're always giving messages. I don't know if it's advice or not, but we're always giving messages.
All right. Well, cool. This has been a great show.
Yes. Thank you, Mark.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stefan.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Dave and Sam.
Yeah, thank you so much. And as I said last week, I think it was last week, it's time to eat. I gotta get something.
Usually, lately, when Tony wants to end the show early, that's why.
I gotta eat something. I'm hungry.
All right.
I don't have time to eat in between shows.
Well, let's get you some food.
All right. Well, as usual, we love you all. We're so happy that you came to the show. We've been here a long time, and all of you are still supporting us, and we love that. So thank you to all of you, and we really do love you
all.
We're not just saying that. So that's about it. So let's get rid of some video, I think, if it will work.